Welcome back to Money, Marriage, and Media. I'm your host, Mike, and today you guys see where we're at. Back with Unsolicited Security Boss, right? Okay, before we get started though, a bit of an update. For those of you who can't, who are not really keeping up with the schedule that I post videos, because I post almost every day, right? We've got relationship recap coming up. Okay, basically it's a compilation of previous videos, but the idea is to keep them all in one place. So, holiday season's coming up. You got some spare time on your hands, just press play. You got all of them in one location, right? But that's like I said, that's going to be coming up soon. But it's still not going to interrupt the regular schedule. So the new video, new content is still coming. But like I said, that's for individuals. Those of you who have subscribed and you just don't have time to keep up with everything. Relationship recap is where you can catch up. Now, on to what we're looking at today. High level conversations. That's why we're back with Security Boss again. I think now this one, she has a panel. It's a panel of 4 people. So now I'm expecting with 4 people, it's probably good. We're probably going to jump right in, and I'm hoping that because there's a limited amount of people, we can get some good back and forth going on. So let's go ahead and get it going.
How important is it that your wife is happy in the relationship? We understand that happiness is an individual thing, but if we're talking about a lifetime, there it's a roller coaster, right? It's sometimes we happy, sometimes we not. It's a temporary emotion. But women are feeling like it is better to make a permanent decision on my temporary feelings. For what reason? Do men really care about why Mr. Happiness keeps taking their woman? Or is it like, you know what? I fear, like he was saying, I fear the laws that could take place if she feels like she wants to jump ship because she feels she's not happy. And so, my question, just to add to the conversation in the men here, is I've never been married yet, but I am a person where I think that happiness is important, and I think that it's important to be happy with who you with. So if men are saying that women, it's a bad thing to be looking at Mr. Happiness, but the narrative is that women should go out and find this said happiness. What are men doing to combat that, to make it seem like marriage with them is the true happiness versus whatever that is out in the streets, that they are pretty much saying, I would rather go figure that out than be in the house with you.
Happiness.
That's a great question. High level conversations. Now, I'm almost certain that's a bad freeze frame, but I'm almost certain this is Lucky Marie. Remember, we came back and reviewed some of her content like it might have been a couple of weeks ago, but it's just random algorithm, right? But that's a very good question. Now, first things first, though, I love the way she preferenced it. Go ahead and admit it too. I've never been married. She hasn't been married yet, but I know that Security Boss is married, and I'm almost certain that Black Man Unfiltered, he is married as well. So what we have, I'm loving the format here to where we can get married and single people get accurate representation. And we have single individuals who are looking to get married. They have questions about marriage, and they can pose their questions to a panel of married people. I've said this before. I'm not interested in rushing into any of these panels, just because I haven't seen, it's a lot of times it doesn't look that productive. But a format like that, like we just seeing here, I could possibly get behind that. Now, as far as to her question, you know what? After reviewing a lot of content, it's more. I review more content than I actually post about. But I am seeing, unfortunately, I'm seeing a growing population of women who are just either, I don't want to say fearful of marriage, but they're just not interested. And it's a sad state of affairs. And I'm going to go ahead and put the blame for that one on us men, because we haven't done a good job of putting forth the benefits of marriage and family. We got to do a better job of promoting marriages, because again, if the narrative is that all women want to get, or most women want to get married, right? And it's most men who are saying, well, nah, I don't know about that. Okay, but if women are out here thinking that, well, I'm not rushing into that. That's a bad. That's we got to do more to start promoting the marriage because again, we've seen the results of that type of thinking in society, and while it does immediate immediate relief or immediate happiness, the long term effects really it downgrades our kids. Their quality of life goes in the toilet. So especially long term, when you're looking at long term results, we already know what those are. So again, we've got to do a better. That's why I started this channel. We got to do a better job of having more married people speak up, right? So let's go ahead and let's keep it going because that's a great question. Great question.
is is a very immature state of mind. It comes
Exactly.
and goes. But I want to just say that
You
the
took the word
more
right out of my mouth.
better thing to look for in marriage is fulfillment. If that man is fulfilling everything and every need,
Yes.
because when you talk about happiness, man, I could be happy because my car is clean, and I could be fiery red.
Yeah.
It's just it's happiness is real tricky. I
Yep.
could gain 10 pounds and be upset.
Well, what
And
I looked up, SB, is just to add what you're thinking of it. One of the words that's synonymous with happiness is being content, which we know we are at a time now where most people aren't content. So,
there you go.
how are men helping their women stay content?
There you go. Fulfillment. It is okay. So men, y'all answer that question.
Happiness is temporary. It's all about fulfillment. What can I do for you? If we built together, take security bosses. We'll come a little local here. Take security boss's story with her husband. Security boss said when we first got together, we didn't have the money that we have today.
Right.
We had to build something. And what if security boss would have said right in the middle of that building, I'm just not happy. I'm out. I'm just gonna get this temporary penis over here and I'm just gonna deal with it. Then she wouldn't have that Maserati she just got for her birthday. Hell no, both sides. Come here, somebody.
Right.
She wouldn't have that Maserati she just got for her birthday if she would have left the man that was building the house to go be with a man for 30 minutes in an apartment. So we need to stop focusing on happiness and focus on fulfillment. He's going to fulfill you in every day. Hey, baby, every day is not going to be a happy day, right? We're going to suffer loss. Even biblically, I wasn't going to go biblically because I know a lot of people don't, but okay, so what? It is what it is. The Bible even tells you that happiness is temporary. It never even promises you happiness in the Bible. Find it and show it to me. It says that you will struggle, you will strive, you will have moments of
suffering. Sorry.
There we go. So if we know that, and then we cannot, if we put all our trust in happiness, then the divorce rate's going to continue to climb. JT?
So that was my question. What are men doing to make sure they're happy with you? Not necessarily happy such as the joyful feeling, but happy knowing that I know even though we mad at each other at the end of the day, I know that he's choosing me every day. I know that we want the best for each other. That
Okay, so I get what she's asking about, and it's basically what she's asking about is long term, right? Because the thing that keeps women content is going to be protection and provision. Unfortunately, we're currently only focused on what's right in front of us. Again, a lot of times you stay in this YouTube relationship side of stuff, and you'll come across eventually that that the narrative that women want a man who's already built, right? Or they just stay at the finish line and wait for the men to cross or wait for the men to get close, and that's who they try and partner with. But that's I don't think most average women think like that. Yeah, that's a small percentage of the population. And again, it speaks to the media portion because again, these are the type of women that we see on YouTube who are perpetually single. Because most of the time, if you're waiting on a guy who's already built, chances are he's not really looking for a long-term relationship with you anyway. Because I got everything already, I'm just looking to have some fun. Yeah, we know what that looks like. But again, most average women don't think like that. Most average women would prefer to build with a man. Now, are they going to expect you to start? Do they want to start with a man who's at the very bottom? No, nobody does, right? But back to the point. I think it goes back to the media portion because we've done a poor job of promoting the long-term goals. Because again, the number one reason why men want to get married is for legacy, to build a family, right? So you got to remember that that is the goal, and that also that a lot of the things that women value in men takes time to build. Now, there are going to be ups and downs, like it's like it was already stated, but it's the plan that makes the difference, and how good are you at following through with it. So a lot of times what happens is, again, like I said, we're doing a bad job of promoting it, or we just don't have it at all, and then we're relying on other things, more immediate things, to keep us together. But the reality is that if we have to do better, man, we got to do better at putting the plan together and putting it into action. Now, once you've explained the plan, and you've married a woman and she's okay with the plan, then sometimes we have to take accountability for ourselves. Is the actions of that plan are not, we're not moving forward fast enough. Or you also may have to come to the realization that the woman, for whatever reason, just doesn't want to agree to it anymore. She doesn't want to follow your plan anymore. Again, most women they're not gonna jump ship like that. If they are, then you did a bad job of vetting that woman. You did, because most women aren't just gonna jump ship like that just because because they're not happy. There's a reason why they're not happy. We got to get to the bottom of that. But let's keep it going.
That in itself could make you happy, not the circumstance. So in conversations, we don't really hear men's perspective as to, this is my duty as a husband to make sure she is content with her choice, or both of our choices of being together. We get women need to stop chasing happiness, but maybe if they understood to be content, or men understood, I'm going to create a space for women to feel content with me always choosing her, they wouldn't feel like it's better to break up their homes to go find whatever this is, because they have an understanding that I am in a relationship, that I'm content and I am fulfilled even when I'm not happy. I know that I am fulfilled. You kind of get what I'm saying?
And a man has to be consistent in that area, right? So, but the thing that confuses me is that the only person in the relationship that needs that is the woman.
Well, wait a minute. I heard her say something.
Go ahead.
And what I heard her say is, I'm a wife. That's what I heard you say, Lucky. A wife's job is to know what a husband is and what it looks like. And in that, you'll note that he's on his purpose.
Right.
And the things that he's allowing you as the head of your house will fulfill you.
Yeah.
So it's your job to see the value in the man. And if you don't see it, that's a problem. That's where the problem is coming from. And what I said yesterday, was it yesterday, guys? I said like I was yesterday, but on my last live, is that there are not many people in these spaces that are teaching men to be the husband. We don't see it. I can talk all day long about women having the value as wives and aligning ourselves with what God wants us to be as wives. But nobody is coming right behind me and saying, now, husbands, just like these women, this is what you got to do. Love your mate. This. They're not doing it.
Well, I can tell you right now.
You know what? On one hand, I could agree with her, but there's also going to be some pushback there. I mean, because if we know that protection and provision are big, right? So there's more content out here that I can think about that talks about stepping your game up with the provisioning part. I mean, I would say that there's more than enough information out there about that. The protection part, not as much. A lot of times we will look at the protection part as being a physical thing. That's why when you go to all these channels, they all use the example of somebody breaking the house in the middle of the night. Protection is more than just that, though. Protection could also mean it's not just physical, but it could be mentally. It could be spiritually. So on those points, I do agree that no channels. There's not many channels out here talking about how men can be protectors outside of physical stuff. But again, on this side of the camera, we talk about the 4 things, right? The 4 things: the dime, discipline, integrity. Y'all know what I'm talking about, right? Discipline, integrity, morals, and ethics. Leveling up in those things will teach you. Those are going to be the things that help you become a better husband. Let's keep going, because I think JT is his name. So I'm interested to hear what he has to say. It may be a channel we need to check out, right? Let's go.
It is not my job to make sure that you're happy. It's not my job for that. Now,
That's
if
right.
you connect to joy, it's something different. All of that is
There you go.
internal, what you're talking about. So for me to make you feel secure, provided for, that you are my family, I am responsible for you, even through my flaws, it's up to you to make sure that I maintain being a man. It's certain things that I have to do for you that I just can't, there's no compromising with it. So I have to provide for you. I have to protect you. I have to do these things. I don't have to make you happy. My duty should supersede how you feel. That takes the curriculum that we call relationship. That's the classroom that we induct ourselves in. That's when we enroll. Because guess what? When you are in a marriage, you're in a classroom. We're going to learn with each other. And it's going to be some times where you got to take remedial classes. You're going to fall. Guess what? That's where the grace comes in.
Come on.
That's when we give each other grace. We don't go and talk to our mama, our sisters, our girlfriends. We don't go and talk to our friends and put each other on in a bad light. That's a tough thing for people to do.
He made some great points. I don't disagree with anything he said. I did pause it because I wanted to make note of something. Is that one of the things that I'm starting to pick up on is when you start looking at enough of these panels, you start to notice a trend here, and it's what I was giving you something to watch out for. Watch how women talk about the men, right, in whatever topics. And to me, it's almost clear cut as you can tell who is married just by the way they talk about the men in their lives. Because most married women have a problem with talking negatively about men. Because they don't know women of value or quality women, they won't talk bad about their husbands. It's very rare that you see that. So it's just something to look out for, because again, it speaks to the media portion of the channel, the importance of relationships. Because again, what image are we portraying out there? So that's why I say we need more married people content, because married women, they're not, well, okay, you guys get the point, but it's a way to figure out, because again, how much content what kind of content are we consuming? Remember, it's a positive phrase out there. It's a popular phrase out there that says that single women keep women single. So if all you're listening to, for all these videos that you're watching, are single women talking about dating, and there's no married women in representation, what's your goal there? Like, you want to learn about marriage? If you're a woman, you want to learn about marriage, talk to married women. Same thing if you're a man. If you want to get married, stop taking advice from single guys. Well, I would say that stop taking it, but the majority of the men that the channels that you should be following should have men who are married. And that's why I said we need more content for married people. But yeah, let's keep going.
Because then we have these other feelings. I feel lonely. I'm by myself. All these different things that you would have. That's the man, and your job is to get each other to a point where we back good again. It's not going to be where we've arrived. You're never going to arrive. It's to death do you part.
Facts.
You're gonna keep learning each other.
Lucky, let me add this. It's two things that I'm gonna put it in a smaller container so maybe women can understand it better. Men, if a man is supplying security and stability to a woman, she'll be happy. Security and stability. If they're supplying that, you will be happy. Now listen, that ain't I ain't saying you're gonna be jumping off the walls. I'm just saying you're not gonna have a problem with that man. What happens is when things start falling apart, he may lose his job. Things like that start happening, where that stability and that security start fluctuating or dropping. We get fearful, and when a woman is fearful, she don't know what to do. That's when we get all messed up in our heads. Like if we don't know if the eviction notice is coming next, we start feeling like we'll be better off without them. But you know that shit ain't true. How could it be? We done
Come
been
on,
all our life. We
Come
live one time. Now we got to go.
Yo, oh man, she said something right there. I'm not gonna go back. I'm not gonna break that down. But y'all need to go back and watch this video. Go back and listen to it again, because she said something that she doesn't normally say. I saw all. I'm gonna keep it right there, and we gonna keep moving.
Go figure it out. Oh, I'm better off without them. Come on.
love it.
But that's how we think, because we get fearful. A woman has to have stability and security. And when men are offering that,
100%, I agree with her, and that's what I talked about before. As the man, as the head of the household, it's your job to come up with a plan and to put forth into action to make sure that those fears are quelled, they're put to ease. I think a lot of times, well, the downside to that is that a lot of the things that, again, I said this before, is that a lot of the things that women seek from men, they take time to build. So, you may not be, that talks to the fleetingness of happiness, which they were talking about before. Let's keep going, because we're almost at the end. I'm just going to summarize at that point.
we can definitely see the value crystal clear. Its problems come when there are issues. But if we know who that man is, he can be down, but a good man don't stay down but maybe 2 or 3 days. He'll figure out a way to keep it going. So that's what you look for. That's where the fulfillment is in, the security and the stability.
Yeah, I agree. I think one of the major talking points here is that, well, we picked up a few things from this one. Again, high level conversations always a bonus. But number one, we need more married people content, right? Number two, I don't differentiate between. There was some semantics here about happiness and being content and all that. I think I maybe it's just me, but I understood Lucky's question in the beginning perfectly. I took it as she wasn't talking. I understood it as she wasn't talking about something that it's fleeting. I think she was meaning something long term. But again, a wise man once said that he said this about money, but fast money comes with slow problems. It's the same thing in relationships. You want quick and easy emotions. That comes with slow problems. That means that, if you're always chasing this quick and easy fix, over time, you're going to have major problems, because things that are sustainable take time to build. So, I'm reminded of Chris Rock when he talked about the difference between being rich and being wealthy. Rich is something that you can lose over a summer with a bad habit, but wealth takes time to build. The same thing here. You want a marriage that's going to last. Well, those things that are going to make that marriage successful, that they take time to build. Things that are going to make women happy in a marriage, they take time to build. Now, that doesn't mean that you got forever to get that done. You got to have the plan in place, and you need to be showing action and following through with it. And then again, we also talked about there are going to be ups and downs, and there are going to be periods where you're going to have to make adjustments. Good men, hardworking men, they're going to be able to make those adjustments. The smaller things, you probably won't even notice them as a wife, because he's gonna fix it on the fly and make adjustments. The bigger things, they're going to require conversations and counsel. Does that mean that the man is going to listen, going to do everything you tell him to? No. If he's a leader, that's almost not going to be the case. But it doesn't mean that he doesn't value your opinion. So again, the bigger things, you guys are going to have to work out together. But the smaller things, he's probably gonna work those things out himself. And how big something appears, you guys are gonna have. Well, the man, you're gonna have to trust the man to make that decision. Is he always gonna be right about what's big and what's not, and what you guys need to talk about? No, not. Nobody's perfect. But if this is where the vetting process becomes so important. That's why I'm gonna keep saying this: is that ladies, you need to be introducing that potential husband to your father, your uncle, the male members of your family who you love and respect, and let them talk to that man and vet that man for you. And you're gonna have to trust their judgment too. And guys, I always say that if you can't tell if she's a good wife, introduce her to your mom. Because again, the mom, but your parents are not going to be swayed by things that you find attractive in the opposite gender. Meaning that, ladies, your dad, as a dad myself, I don't care how fine my daughter's boyfriend is. That don't faze me. You need to be talking about some kind of I'm gonna rate you on some husband skills. They ain't got nothing to do with looks, because looks fade. It's the same thing when guys, when you're not sure about it, if you think you're being blinded by how fine she is, introduce her to your mom or your older sister, because that feminine wiles are not going to work on them. So you find out real quick. And the best people to have, if the people that you need help with, that are helping you vet people, if they're married, that makes it even better. So, but I know it's like marriage rates are low in our community, so sometimes that may not be there. But look, the whole point of this channel is we got to improve those things. So again, we can start raising the level of quality relationships, right? So look, guys, it's great conversation. Again, check out Security Boss. We need to be pushing her content, right? More married people making more content. But I'm gonna say goes to the next time. Peace. Thanks for making it to the end of this video. But do me another favor, like and subscribe, but also check out these here. Either subscribe or watch videos, one or the other. I don't know which side, but hey, all right. Mike here, and we're back with Lapeef Jr. We got the ladies again, and we're looking at we cannot move forward in a relationship if you are not participating in it. That seems kind of surface level, but the ladies have known they've been known to have a high level conversation. So let's see what we're talking about.
Ask those questions. I'm totally willing to take accountability if I've done something wrong to rectify it. But when I get the response of, nothing's wrong, or I'm fine, or I'll figure it, like when you decide to make the decision to cut off communication, my hands are tied. We can't move forward in a relationship if you are not participating in it, right? Or participating in it. And that's problematic. I can do I can do everything on my end to try to rectify, to like create a safe space where there's no judgment, your vulnerability is not weaponized, and do all of those things where like, hey, you can tell me whatever it is that you're feeling, and I'm never going to lash out at you. And I'm not even going to fight you on how you're feeling. But if you're still not willing to communicate and you're just telling me like, oh, like, I just had a long day, but it's been 3 months of long days. Like there's no reciprocity in building the relationship, right?
And that's a real.
Okay. You know what? That sounds good, but that's not. That sounds good on paper. That's not reality. I want to see if any of the other women are going to say anything before I say something. Because
you need to run. I mean, it just is what
it is. I'm out now, right? Like we're no longer in that space anymore. But
I knew
like,
it.
What I'm saying is,
yeah.
I love that dynamic works for you, Chanel, because you have a partner who's willing to take that space and come back and say, okay, I didn't really like that thing that you said or that thing that you did. But there are a lot of men out there that instead of doing that, just shut down or shut their partner out.
Yeah.
It's
right?
a lot of men
And
that shut down.
right.
Is anybody going to ask why that is? That's okay. Maybe somebody will. Let's hope so. Let's hope so.
And so it has to be a two-person participation in a relationship for a relationship to actually have a healthy dynamic. And we can hold ourselves accountable all we want, but if our counterpart is not doing their part, we're really just running around in circles.
What I've noticed is sometimes when it gets to that point, that man has already told you what was wrong and you didn't do
Thank
it.
you.
And he
Thank
feels
you.
disrespected
Yeah.
and does not want to repeat himself
That exactly. I'm glad I let that play out because again, hearing. Okay, let's let her finish.
again. Also, another scenario could be a lot of men don't actually like talking about their feelings. That's kind of not how they process, from my experience. That's not really how
Yeah.
they process their emotions. They kind of just want to be by themselves and like stew and then renew themselves and then come back to it. Perhaps he'll share with you after, but you kind of have to respect him enough. If he doesn't want to share in that very moment, you kind of have to respect him in that. Another third scenario is he's just not that into you and he's not going to share with you and he's just leading you along to a dead end and he just wants what you're giving him until you figure it out and then you finally leave. So those scenarios kind of see. Exactly.
Okay. Here's the thing, ladies. I'm gonna give you some game. The three reasons she gave, they're 100% right. The part that she's missing is a lot of times the first and third answers are linked together. He gave you the opportunity to communicate with him. Most cases and most times what happens is you ladies blew it. And he's not going to make himself vulnerable again because it backfired on him. So now, yeah, he put you in that placeholder category and didn't tell you. He put you in what I'm effectively calling the sex zone. Sex only, no commitment, or if it is commitment, he's not in it 100%. Because a lot of the time, guys will do this like a lot, and they just won't tell you. And then y'all been together for like 3, 4, and 5 years, and you're trying to figure out, well, why hasn't he proposed yet? Yeah, because at some point along the lines, he was thinking about it. You did something that threw him off, that turned him off, and he just said, "Okay, well, screw this. No, I'm not doing it. This is about as good as it's gonna get." Or it made him pull back and say, "I can't trust her." It's not like it's not an infidelity thing. He just can't trust you with his emotional side. So again, he puts the wall up. Nope, everything's fine. Nope, I'm doing great. Nah, he's not. He's gonna try and work it out himself. Now, the thing you have to be careful with is that a lot of times men will reserve working masculine problems out with other men, because in a lot of times women are not equipped to handle masculine problems. When you're talking about in the confines of a marriage, that's different because there's a lot more understanding between the two genders that goes along with that, right? But if you guys are not married, yeah, because there's a lack of understanding for the male perspective. That's why I say that, that most women are not equipped to handle masculine problems, because you guys don't see things from the male perspective. Again, part of that is our fault, because again, this is why we need more married people putting out content, more husbands putting out content, because then ladies can actually start to get some insight in, number one, what type of men tend to be good husbands. Number two, how can I interact with men on a cerebral level? Because most women miss that. And there's some more reasons, but I don't want to get off track. We'll get to that possibly in another video, hopefully in another video. But let's keep the conversation going here. High level conversations. I'm glad. Yeah, let's go.
So I think those last two scenarios are both situations where if that's not, like, if the second one, like, he just doesn't really want to talk about it, but he likes you still. But if that's not the type of man you want to be with, like, get out. And if this third one, if he's not into you, like, get out, which goes back to, I'm not sacrificing my happiness because you don't want to talk and communicate how I need you to communicate to be with me, so.
I think so often we waste our.
What she just said is that if you're not behaving the way I want you to, then I'm just going to leave. you should let them go. You should let them go. Women who act like that, they don't value you, they don't love you, they don't respect you. Let them go. Because again, who leads in a relationship? Well, if the man is supposed to lead, then shouldn't you be conforming to him? Look, I'm not gonna knock her if maybe she doesn't want to lead her. Maybe she wants to lead. You know, if that's you, ladies, I have no qualms with you. But recognize who you are and what type of man you're looking for. There you go.
Our time on these relationships that are just not going to work. We're not having a conversation. We're assuming it goes on for years. And let's just face it, ladies, you're getting older, and men are somebody they don't want older women, you know.
Yeah.
So it's just
that's why you shouldn't waste time.
I say it all the time. I'm gonna keep saying it. How much time are you willing to waste on a man who's not into the same goals that you are? If marriage is your goal, how much time are you willing to waste on a man who doesn't want to get married? Huh?
And date different suitors.
I thought we learned from this. Let it go.
I had to trigger them.
That's a whole other conversation. I'm with you, girl.
I had to trigger them. I got roasted in the
Did they?
Girl, did you not see all the
B. Taylor said she had a roster though. That sounds kind of.
I think people misunderstood what she said, and I think when women say roster,
no, we didn't.
Men and people automatically think that means you're having sex with.
But she clarified. But the problem was they didn't want to hear anything else she had to say after that.
That's what I'm saying. People.
Doesn't matter if you're having sex with the guys or not. It doesn't. What does perception say? You know, that's a big thing. What type of image are you portraying? If your goal is monogamy, okay, well, the man that you want, that you would value, love, value, and respect, how's he gonna view you? You got multiple men around you. Men are territorial. You don't want to step on another man's toes, especially for a woman who could potentially be our wife. Most men would just say, well, nah, she got too much going on. I'm gonna go over here. So you can portray that lifestyle if you want to. It doesn't matter if you're having sex with the guys or not. It just is what it is. I mean,
people get carried away and they take what you say and they twist it and they slam dunk it into something else, and it's like, my nigga, that's not even what I said, and that's definitely not what I meant. Like, listen. You know,
but that's because that's what their roster looks like.
Exactly.
It's people that they're sleeping with.
I think because that's something that they would do, you would do the same. And it's like, that's you. That's because you're like that, not me.
It's like men in one breath say women need to stop comparing themselves to.
Is this what we're doing? This is going to turn into a male bashing session? And the high-level conversation just went right out the window. Hopefully it comes back. Because we're only halfway through this. So, yeah.
Men, because men can do that. So, okay, I'm not moving like a man. So if I have different suitors, I'm not sleeping with any of them. Like, because sex is so easy for a woman. Why would I need to just go out and have sex with everybody? Especially if I'm not the one getting the happy ending.
Thank you.
Like I'm gonna be picky and choosy about who I am intimate with, as in I'm not gonna do it until I'm in a relationship. And you know, if you telling me I'm on a time clock and I got a time to, you know, and I need to, you know,
gotta line them up.
Right. And I don't think that they understand that, like, the process is fast. Like, I'm not gonna waste weeks and months of time going out with you, talking to you. We're not sleeping together. If I can have one conversation with somebody and I can know this is not me, this is not what, and you're out the door. So am I a hoe because I talk to two different people? And I think people, you say roster, that can mean 2, 3, 4, you know.
That wasn't what she was talking about, though. I saw that video that she said that in. That's not what she was talking about. She was talking about dating multiple men at one time. That's different than what Curtis for Life is saying. You having phone conversations? I don't have a problem with that. It's when you're using the men for their meat, their money, energy, attention, and time. When they're investing that into you, you got multiple guys doing that, that becomes a problem because it looks like you're using men. And no. One of guys' biggest fears is that we're pouring resources into you and you're just not that into us. Women have the same fears too. It's amazing how none of them have brought that up. You know, you out here looking for monogamy and the guy has a roster. I mean, if he's trying to get married and he's actively vetting women, that's a little bit different. But the guys they're talking about, number one, most men aren't like that. Most men don't have the value to go and do what they're talking about. So they're literally talking about a small percentage of men and they're just applying it to the whole gender. Let's keep going. Hopefully soon they'll come back in the line and we can get some more high level conversation because this is not the again when you get on these panels and sometimes the conversation's just not productive. Like what are we doing here?
You know what I mean? Like people automatically think exactly 2 is more than 1.
We'll save that subject for a different day.
Right.
Okay, it is Monday and we're gonna wrap it up, but you know this is a solution based platform, so therefore we're gonna start wrapping it up about what is the solution for a woman who is finding herself pregnant or with children and she's finding herself to be unhappy with this man and she feels like she is better off choosing herself and being single. What advice would you give this woman as if you're talking to her? We'll start with Chanel.
I would say, girl, do not choose yourself, choose your children. Go, as long as he's not beating you up and he's not slanging left, right, and in the center, go to your man, talk it out, try to figure it out, and raise your children.
It's my turn.
Yeah. I got nothing to say with that. I agree.
I absolutely agree. If he's a good man and you know how he treats you, I would definitely say stick it out.
I'm just waiting for somebody to say, well, no, that's not it. You should just leave. You notice how she prefaced it with a good man? He'd have to be a good man for you to have a child with him, right? I would hope so. I'm noticing that they didn't mention he's your husband. We keep these extreme scenarios. Get the marriage first and you won't have to worry about that. Have somebody help you vet that man to find out if he's worth marrying before you start talking about what scenario should I do. Should I stay because we have a kid together or I'm pregnant? When are we gonna start having more conversations about the vetting process for finding a husband or a wife? Why is it that we always got these topics to where they start off, well, we already got a kid together, but you're not married? We need more married people content
for the children. But before you even get to that point, first, and don't open your legs to nobody else, no time soon. No more kids until you're married. And if you don't have any kids at home, close your legs. He should not be getting no swing if he ain't married, okay? That's all. That's my message. That's our solution. Thank you.
The solution is be careful in the beginning. Like she said, the best thing to do is try to prevent things from happening. But if they do happen to happen, you chose that partner, try to work it out. But I still stand on, don't stay in a situation where, and when I say happiness, like this young lady over here said, she was like, happiness is not at the top of the list, but you should have some type of happiness. Just being miserable in a relationship just for kids should never be the case, but definitely try to work it out. If you can work it out, please do it.
I'm going to say, Miss Lady, I need you to go upstairs or in your room, write out a list of things that are important to you and things that you have in your life right now. and the things that are important to you are not here, then you need to go get what's important to you. And if you have them here, stick it out, work it out, and keep it together.
What's more important than raising your kids in a stable environment with 2-parent household? Wow.
I'm gonna agree with Shan Monet. We keeping the knees together until we are married, and if somehow we wind up in that situation, choose what's best for your children. Because I think last week we were talking about whether you can be a single mom inside of a relationship. If that's the case, if you are a healthier, happier, more present parent on your own, do what's best for your children. Like, truly, what is best for your children, the kind of example your children turned out just like you would be happy about it. Like, really factor that in and do what's best for your children, because you've already made all of the decisions you can for yourself at that point.
B Taylor.
Oh, okay. My solution would be to try to make it work. Don't give up so easily on your family. I know it's hard, especially if it's like a financial thing, or you feel like he's not pulling his weight, or you've gotten to the loop or the thief of comparison. The grass may not always be greener. If you guys can get therapy, you can get in therapy first, and then he can join you in sessions, get into a marriage counseling group, relationship counseling. Try to be a better woman and see if it's also you that's playing a part into why you're not being happy in this relationship, because he also may not be happy with you, and you are also playing a part in that, and take accountability in what part you're playing and why this relationship is failing, because when a relationship is failing, it takes two for it to fail. So that would be one advice is, if it's over something that's petty, if it's over something that's he's not putting his hands on you or dealing with an addiction or anything, make it work, because children thrive better in a 2-parent household. And remind yourself also, when you do stay, don't let it be a toxic environment. Break the generational curse. Stop yelling at your kids. Stop yelling at your husband or your boyfriend, and coming in.
Okay. You know, that was an interesting show, or interesting clip. In summary, that last scenario, you know what I didn't hear? Is there a difference between getting pregnant and having a child? Nobody addressed that. I mean, that's a personal decision that you're gonna have to pull, that you're gonna have to work out, right? But I just find it interesting that nobody addressed that. We could easily say, "Oh yeah, well, I'm pregnant." Okay, but were you guys actively taking steps to avoid that, and it still happened, or was it just, well, See, this is why we're gonna have to address that at some point. The other thing is that too many times. Well, look, there was a lot to go on here. Conversations were limited because it's like halfway through it, we just had a breakdown, and it just it just got off topic, and there was nothing going on there that was worth talking about. It kind of. I'm just being honest. My whole thought process just went down the drain at that point, because it really just talked about it. But what it basically boiled down to is a couple women on the panel think that they should be equal to men. They should be able to do what men do, or we should be able to do the same things. That's not what marriage is about. You have your strengths, I have mine. We're supposed to be coming together because and our differences will make us a better union. But if we're out here doing the same things, all we're gonna do is butt heads. But look, guys, yeah. we're gonna move on, and I'm gonna say goes to the next time. Peace. Thanks for making it to the end of this video. But do me another favor, like and subscribe, but also check out these here. Either subscribe or watch videos, one or the other. I don't know which side, but hey, all right. Money, Marriage, and Media, and we are back with Chic Critique. Now, apparently, according to the ladies, this show was on hiatus for a minute. I don't know. Hey, Lapeef JR is a channel with high level conversations is what we're looking for. We're gonna jump right in. The topic is, what's the issue with men being against marriage today? But look, if you got, we're gonna be rehashing a lot of YouTube talking points of this one because this is a popular topic. But let's see if we can get some high level conversations. Now, I will say this: from the start of the show, we already have men on the panel, so let's see what we got here. Usually it's just all women until the end of the show, but yeah, something different, right? Let's go.
What do you guys think the issue is with men wanting to get married today in 2022? Why are so many men against being married?
Can I take a stab at it?
No, because you're going to be long-winded.
I promise. I'm working on it. Watch. Okay.
Go ahead.
I think it's a few reasons. One, that whole saying about why buy the cow when you could get the milk for free. So they're already getting the benefits of marriage without truly jumping the broom, so to speak. The other thing
some of the benefits, yeah, but not the biggest one. I mean, remember, the number one reason why men get married is for legacy. So, yeah, we're having kids, but they're not being in the best position to win. They're not raising a household with two parents. So, I mean, I guess you could still argue that because they still having kids. So, but yeah. All right, whatever. Keep going.
Thing is the probability of divorce and what that may entail, the aftermath of a divorce. So those are the two reasons that I think.
Those are good. Yeah.
Anybody else want to take a stab at it? How about them guys? I mean, that's what they're here for. So.
All right, I'll jump in. One part of marriage is protection and being responsible for our wives and families.
Yeah.
And just the way the world is now, in our Black community, women are brainwashed or were brainwashed by their mothers, and they're full of women families. Most Black families are 90% women. So all these cackling women in the family have brainwashed their young daughters and their young nieces and told them that you don't need no man, you don't need to be protected. And, so at the end of the day, it's not even us not wanting to marry women. Is the women not knowing either how to be a wife because their mother wasn't married. Her mother was a single mother. Her auntie was a single mother. Her cousin was a single mother. So the only thing that the mom or the daughter or anybody knows how to do is to be a mother. And she goes out and looks for a man to mother instead of a man to be a wife to, because you can't teach something that you don't know. So most of the women out here are looking to mother a man instead of being a wife to a man.
Now that's an interesting concept. I don't think I've heard that one before. I'm gonna garner some more research on that. Like, I don't know. I literally the first time I've heard that. It's an interesting theory that he poses. I have to see where it goes. Need more information though.
Therefore, we're out here just like, all right, we really don't have anybody to marry.
Is that? Oh, really? I gotta do the sound effects. Sorry.
Can I ask you to let go a quick question with something that he said? So you said that you think that women are looking to mother the men that they are with because they were raised by single moms. So do you think in turn that men who were raised in a single-led household are looking for mothers to marry as opposed to a wife?
Yes,
Yeah.
that's another part of it.
Yeah, we've got to do a better job of raising leaders, making our men to be leaders. A lot of times, what happens is that when men grow up in single parent households, single moms, they're used to the mom taking the leadership role. So that's who when they married, that's what they want to see. Uh, yeah, it's an unfortunate cycle, but we got to break it. How do we break it? More married people put more content out there, so that again, if that guy doesn't, if that boy is growing up in a household to where he doesn't have access to male leadership, okay, well, YouTube is a real thing. It's a platform. You can come on here and see how husbands behave.
So it all stems from the single mother epidemic. It's the biggest epidemic. The AIDS epidemic was not as big, as bad, and as terrible and as destructive as the single mother epidemic. It's one of the biggest. The crack epidemic and the AIDS epidemic together is not nowhere near as destructive as the single mother epidemic has put us. But yeah, the men are losers and the women look to mother the loser men because that's literally what they were taught to do. Because if their dad or some man was around when they was growing up, he was a loser. Because there's always that one loser uncle in the 90% women family that everybody babied and, you know, fed in Thanksgiving or whatever and was living with auntie or grandmama or whatever. So that's the only man that they really grew up seeing. So they mothered him and let him live over here and live over there, whatever, or just got out of jail. So overall, the men are trash and the women are looking for men who are trash because that's all they're knowing to look for. Because they don't, you know, you get with a woman to get with a stable, good, responsible man, and the first thing she's gonna be like, ooh, he's controlling. Ooh, I can't deal with him. Ooh, he's a narcissist. Because I got an opinion, because I have a certain amount of leadership, because I'm not going to let you mother me. I'm a narcissist. I'm a this, I'm a that. So this is what men deal with. So next thing you know, we just like, all right, we'll just stay single. Because we don't.
He's making some points. It's interesting because those are a lot of the things that women say when they break up with men, when they in their relationships. Yeah, and you know, the whole controlling thing is always funny to me because if you start asking questions about that, it makes you think that the woman just wants a man who's just going to go along with everything she says. But most women don't want that. So it's just, yeah, again, YouTube talking point. It may or may not pan out in real life. You know, it sounds good on YouTube though, but how realistic is it? Sometimes it applies to life, sometimes it doesn't. But you know, take it. It's just like your salad bar. Take what you want, leave the rest.
Don't really hurt by being single. We could be single till we 55 and turn around and get with a 35-year-old and be straight. So we don't find a woman. We happy as I don't know what being single. So it don't really hurt us.
That 35 and 55 is a rumor, but I rarely see it happen. It sounds good though. But okay, so anybody else wanted to give their opinion on that? Because I have a follow-up question actually.
Well, I mostly agree with Mr. Letgo with men not being able to find marriageable women. And the second part of that is I don't think that too many men know how to be or know what it means to be a husband. So it's kind of a two-part thing.
Yeah.
And the third part of it is what they're fed on social media. They see a lot of the Instagram and the shaking the butt, and the truth of the matter is no man really wants that at all, except maybe for a night or two. That's the truth. We don't want to live with it. And then we hear the accept me as I am in that part, and we're not going for that. We're not going to go for it. So we'd rather fly you out, bust you down, and send you home.
If I can jump in on this as well. I agree with a lot of what's been said already. And to add to it, I'd say that people aren't taught the value of marriage anymore. We talk about the benefits all the time, but the benefits aren't enough for people to want to get married, to tough out a marriage, to stick through a marriage, to go through.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to disagree. I don't think we talk about the benefits enough. Because if you're gonna sit here and tell me that again, one of the benefits of marriage is what is our children are gonna have better outcomes later down the road, and you're gonna sit here and say, well, that's not enough. Something tells me that if you ask the average person one of the benefits of marriage, they're not gonna talk about that though. So are we really talking about it enough? I don't think so. Again, we need more married people making more content so we can get this information out and it can be viewed by thousands.
Through all of the hard work without understanding the value. Like, it's just not going to add up. And until we start to talk about the value of marriage and not just the benefits, I think people will continue to
I'm hoping somebody asks her, what's the difference between a benefit and a value?
choose not to get married.
Anybody
Well,
else?
yeah, I'm gonna speak on it. To me, a lot of women don't want to put that work in. They just don't want to put that work in because it's not easy. It's a job. It is a job. It's an endless job. That's what it is, and you have to work at it every day, every second. You know, sometimes you just don't get the benefits of what you think. So it's like it's something you have to do on a regular basis, and a lot of women don't want to do that. They okay when it's good, everything's good. The sun's shining, the rainbow's out. Everything's great. That's easy to deal with when everything's nice. But when it gets hard, when them storms comes and them issues you have to deal with, maybe even sickness you have to deal with. A lot of women don't want to deal with that. They will be ready to quit. They're ready to tap out and say forget it, because I don't feel like doing this anymore. I'm not in love with him because he upset me because he didn't do something I wanted him to do at a certain time. So a lot of ladies are not willing to put that work in to be married. Now, for the guys, like you said, if they don't have to, we're not gonna settle down with you. If I could get everything that you're offering from me, and you don't have no standards, and you're gonna just let me have what I want to have, the wife type benefits, without me being a husband, then we're gonna take advantage until we're forced to change. Are we forced to do something different? Now, if y'all ladies start forced to do something different, then we'll adjust. But if we don't have to, we won't.
Women have turned into the Pizza Hut of this, the new millennial. Back in the day, you order a pizza, the pizza gets here 30 minutes or less, or your money back type of stuff. We don't order pizza anymore. We just call up a chick. She gets there before 30 minutes. And having a life like that, why get married? I personally want to get married, but just women just giving out pizza like it's...
I'm lost on that analogy. I don't know what he's talking about, but we're going to keep going.
And the pizza be free. Imagine ordering a pizza and it's free. You know what I'm saying? So you don't need no coupon. Yo, I got a coupon. You don't need none of that stuff. You just call up. Yo, come over here. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, it's actually hard to pull yourself away from all of the free pizza to actually, work at a pizza company and make pizza. So it's kind of like that.
What?
But personally, I want to get married. I look to get married.
Okay.
I love family, things like that. But
there we go. Mr. Let Go came through in the end with cut. I can understand that. The stuff with the pizza analogy, I don't know what he's talking about. But I love family, I get that.
It's kind of hard to just pull away from the free pizza, just because sometimes you come to the door, somebody just standing there with a pizza. Hey, you want some pizza? And you're like, sure. You know what I'm saying? So it's kind of
So
like
you
that.
just take pizza from anybody, just cheap pizza, free pizza.
No, I open the box and smell it, see if it's hot. You know what I'm saying? What kind of toppings is on it? You know what I'm saying? Certain toppings I don't like, so you know I'd be like, nah, I'm
Some
good.
toppings you can't get rid of, so better watch out.
Exactly. So I don't like all toppings. I don't like anchovies. You know what I'm saying?
Chantel, there you go with that community stuff.
Okay. Wow. We're gonna have to follow up with this one because I'm interested to see where it was going. That whole pizza analogy just took a left turn, and I don't know where they were going with that. But what did we come across here today? Well, we started having conversations about the benefits of marriage. Again, I think a lot of times we struggle with this because there's just not enough information out there coming from the people who are actually doing it. So I'm glad that they're putting it out there that this whole Mr. Let Go called it the single mom epidemic. Whatever you want to call it, it's a big problem. But the only way to get through that is the number one is that we're going to have to start biting the bullet with some of this stuff in that you're not going to, no relationship is going to be perfect. And for us as men to expect that is not realistic. Again, I've said this before, you know, fit, feminine, friendly, cooperative, submissive, childless. You're not going to get all that. Not average men, no. 3 or 4 of them, you're doing good. And just go with that. Now, whatever your combination is, you know, you got to figure that out for yourself. Same thing for the ladies. You're going to have to figure out what his, what categories he's specifically looking for. And that will tell you, that relates to the type of man he is. But, you know, you guys work it out and then go from there. But again, on both parties, remember, it's not going to be perfect. So stop expecting that. But look, I will say goes to the next time, and glad to see Chic Critique is back because, you know, again, high level conversations, that's what we're looking for. But all right, guys, peace. Thanks for making it to the end of this video, but do me another favor, like and subscribe, but also check out these here. Either subscribe or watch videos, one or the other. I don't know which side, but hey, all right. Mike here, Money Marriage Media, and we're back again with Daily Wrap-Up Crew. This time we've got, the title is A Real Reason Women Prefer Scammers Over 9-to-5 Working Men. And background information, there was a video that went viral earlier this year where, you know, it was some street interviews, and they asked, which do you prefer, you know, drug dealer, scammer, or 9-to-5? Women chose, it wasn't even close. 9-to-5 guys will always last, and it was like the most depressing, one of the most depressing things ever to watch. Was there some caveats? Yeah, because the women that they were asking tended to be on the younger side. So, but I digress. We're gonna go ahead and get it started. Maybe that's changed. Let's hope so. Because, yeah, either way, let's get it going.
I mean, all right, we get into this real quick. Do people want weddings more than they actually want to be married?
And that's the worst one.
Yeah, let's just ask one of our questions. Yeah. So, would y'all prefer a scammer or a 9-to-5 guy?
Now 9-to-5, I did the scammers. They don't got time.
They don't got time?
What do you mean they don't got time?
They don't got time. They always on the road.
Huh?
They lying. No,
but
actually they not. They wasn't, because I was on the road with them.
Your dad was a 9-to-5, and you said he ain't have time either, right?
He was not on the road with them.
Allegedly. I was like,
yeah, because the FBI is watching.
Jesus Christ. I gave up that a long time ago. Ooh, that's how true it is. But now 9-to-5s, like, I respect it because shit, I'll be working 9-to-5 sometimes when I'm not doing entrepreneur shit. But yeah, the scammers, they just give you money. They don't care about time and shit like that. They just be like, what you want here? Well, my experience, yes. But you have a different experience because...
It sounds like you choosing a scammer over there.
Yeah.
This is the thing. The people that I know, I'm not saying people, scammers, right? No, I ain't saying that. I'm saying the people that I know,
They want to make their bread to serve a better purpose, whether it's for their family or
But
to
the
have a
good people
business.
making bad decisions, right?
Yeah, bro, what bad decision? Let me tell you something, okay?
You better defend them scammers. Like,
Let me
saying,
tell you
Mm.
something. Everybody eats a piece of that pie, all right?
No, they don't. Just trying to justify bad behavior, illegal behavior, mind you.
The only difference is
I could beg to differ.
the higher ups don't want us eating that piece of the pie, but they eat that piece of the pie the way they have to, illegally too. So I'm not
Who, the
ever
higher
mad.
ups?
Yes.
Okay.
Talking about the white pepper, okay?
Uh-huh.
So I'm not ever gonna throw shade at nobody that I see. Hey,
But how you know you scamming?
I ain't throw no
these white
shade. I'm
people,
just
though?
saying I
Like,
prefer
You could be
it.
scamming. You could be scamming Johnny from down the block.
so what? Johnny Vanetta should never been on wherever he's
The
at.
scammers is just like they be everywhere. They fuck with you, her.
First of
As
all,
long as he
I'ma
could
let
financially
y'all
support
also
everybody.
know that every scam y'all think that we
They
did, or
been did.
they been did it. They put us onto the shit to use us as decoys
Duh.
after they don't ward
And
it
they're
out.
still doing it right now. It's just certain ones we not caught on to yet. And then when we catch on, it's already done for that. Them people already know. So no, I'm not ever gonna put nobody down about that. If you getting it like that, then get it like that, but have a bigger purpose for it. So that way you could leave that life.
All right, so give us a definitive answer. 9 to 5 or the scammer? Which one you
Scammer.
choosing? Okay, there we go. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
all that motherfucking lying.
Word, like,
I ain't lying.
I mean,
goddamn.
Listen.
trying to hide it.
It's just sad. Sad. We got to do better than that. That's
Did it all this shit.
Trying to justify the
Cochran
scamming.
defended his
Like,
people, so I'm gonna defend mine.
Johnny Cochran.
The scammers is your people.
Listen, I'm on
Clearly.
United Nations all up in here.
yo, scammers, a Cash App is Daily Wrap Up Crew. Like, you know what I mean? So y'all want to donate something like, yo.
9 to 5, y'all swing it this way.
No, I love 9 to 5 too. Listen, I have a 9 to 5 myself.
Not me. I
You
just
cheat
quit
on him with the
everything.
scammer.
Huh?
That's all we needed to hear. That's all.
That's
Yo,
you look
man.
guilty as
I
fuck.
don't know what you're
That's
talking about.
Time's up.
my head hurts. That is so immature. Like, that young lady, she needs to grow up. This is why, okay, so side caveat, this is why we need more married people putting out content, because we need to do a better job of preparing our kids for life. That young lady sounded so immature. Yeah, I want to scam her because you want somebody that's going to risk bringing the FBI to your door. That's what you're saying. Because if they get caught, you're a known associate, you going down too. Why would you take that risk? Well, he get me whatever I want. At what cost? It's cool, and you heard her say it. Well, they got Johnny down the street. Well, that's Johnny's fault. Until it's your bank account it gets emptied. And they leaving you sitting there looking crazy. Because now all of a sudden, now you can't pay your rent because that money's gone. I always take this back to source relationships. Y'all think her father was in her life? If he is, then he did a piss poor job. Because your daughter is chasing criminals. That's what she's trying to really have a relationship with, a criminal. What type of family are you going to be building like that? That's sad. And, this goes back to, this is a perfect example of, why guys say that women don't hold other women accountable. Because she wasn't trying to listen. The young lady was sitting right next to her. And she said, no, I don't want to scam her because that don't work. And the other woman with the glasses wants to do whatever she wants to do. And she's sitting here telling her, girl, you don't know what you're talking about. No, it's not like that. And I'm telling you, I've been out there, and she don't want to listen. So that's my alarm telling me that we got to wrap this up. So guys, that was this is a prime example of why we need more nuclear families, because our kids are suffering. The chances that young lady with the glasses, she grew up in a 2-parent household, I'm finding that very hard to believe, because she's sitting there wanting a relationship with that doesn't. that has no future. And then she gonna try and cover it up by saying, "Oh yeah, I love 9 to 5s." You just and Eli called it out. You gonna cheat on him with the scammer? And she couldn't, and she didn't. You heard? Did she say no? No, she didn't. Which means it's probably already happening. We got to do a better job of raising our kids to be more mature, so situations like that don't happen. There's no way in the world you're going to tell me that long term that she actually wants a long term relationship with a guy who is conducting illegal activities at that level to where you got the feds knocking at your door. No way. No way. But guys, look, we're going to wrap this up. I don't like covering content like this, but at a certain point, we got to start addressing the elephant in the room, because that's somebody's future mom. We got to do better. But look, I'm going to say goes to the next time. Peace. Thanks for making it to the end of this video. But do me another favor, like and subscribe, but also check out these here. Either subscribe or watch videos, one or the other. I don't know which side, but hey, all right.